What if I told you one goal didn't break the internet? The celebration did. Cristiano Ronaldo scores, hits the SIUUU, and suddenly fans are calling it cringe, shameless, even disrespectful. One moment of joy turns into a global backlash, memes everywhere, debates raging, and his legacy questioned all over again. But here's what everyone's missing. This reaction isn't about the celebration at all. There's a deeper reason why this moment hits so hard. And once you see it, you'll never look at Ronaldo's shoe the same way again. We'll explain everything in this video step by step. Don't skip it. Cristiano Ronaldo scores, and then boom, the SIUUU comes out again. But this time, the internet explodes and not everyone is cheering. Some fans are calling it cringe, others are laughing, and a few are straight up furious. Welcome to modern football drama at its finest. Because when Ronaldo celebrates, it's never just a celebration. It's a statement, a reminder, a challenge. At nearly 40, with every move under a microscope, Ronaldo refuses to shrink into the background. He scores, turns to the crowd, hits the shoe, and suddenly social media is on fire. Shameless, they say. Let it go, they shout. But here's the thing. Ronaldo has never played to be quiet. This is a man who's fought time, critics, and expectations his entire career. Every goal now isn't just about the scoreboard, it's about survival at the top. The pressure, unreal. The scrutiny, relentless. One celebration, one jump, one shout, and the world debates his legacy all over again. But love him or hate him, you felt it. The stadium reacted, the cameras zoomed in, the moment landed, and that's exactly why Ronaldo keeps doing it, because even when fans cringe, they still watch. Even when they complain, they still talk. Is the CU over the top? Maybe. Is it vintage Ronaldo? Absolutely. And in a game desperate for personalities, drama, and emotion, Cristiano Ronaldo just reminded everyone why football is never boring when he's involved. Mock it, meme it, criticise it, but you can't ignore it. The SIU lives on. Cristiano Ronaldo's latest SIU celebration didn't just follow a goal, it detonated a reaction across the football world that felt louder than the stadium itself. The moment the ball hit the net, all eyes shifted from the scoreboard to Ronaldo because everyone knew what was coming. He turned, leapt, landed, and unleashed the famous shout that has defined his brand for years. But instead of universal cheers, a wave of backlash rolled in almost instantly. Fans online branded it cringe, critics called it shameless, and debates erupted within minutes questioning whether the celebration still belonged in modern football or if it had overstayed its welcome. What should have been a routine moment of joy transformed into a cultural flashpoint, highlighting how polarising Ronaldo has become at this stage of his career. The backlash wasn't just about the celebration itself, but what it symbolised. To many fans, the CU felt like a refusal to move on, a reminder of an era they believe has passed. They argued that repeating the same celebration after all these years looked forced, almost like clinging to past glory. Memes flooded timelines, slow motion clips dissected every movement, and comment sections turned into battlegrounds between supporters and critics. Some accused Ronaldo of seeking attention, others claimed he was ignoring the spirit of humility expected from a veteran superstar. Yet the intensity of the reaction revealed something deeper than annoyance. It showed how much weight every Ronaldo moment still carries. For his supporters, the backlash felt unfair and disrespectful. They saw the SIU not as cringe, but as defiance. To them, Ronaldo wasn't mocking the game or the fans. He was reminding everyone that he is still here, still scoring, still relevant. They pointed out that football has always been about emotion, and few players in history have expressed it as openly and consistently as Ronaldo. The celebration, in their eyes, was a declaration of survival in a sport that constantly pushes its legends aside once age becomes a factor. Every jump, every shout felt like resistance against being written off. The drama also exposed the brutal reality of fame at the highest level. Ronaldo's celebration was analysed more than the goal itself, proving that his presence alone changes the narrative of any match. A younger player might celebrate wildly and be praised for passion, but Ronaldo's actions are filtered through years of expectations, rivalries, and comparisons. Fans don't just see the present moment, they see the entire career, the trophies, the records, the rival debates, and that history fuels both admiration and resentment. The SIU became a mirror reflecting how divided football audiences are when it comes to icons who refuse to fade quietly. In the end, the backlash showed that Ronaldo remains one of the most emotionally charged figures in football. A single celebration was enough to dominate headlines, trend worldwide, and spark arguments across continents. The noise around the cringe Sue wasn't a sign of irrelevance, but proof that Ronaldo still has the power to move the game's emotional needle with one action, one goal, one leap into the air. It started with a single goal, a moment that in most matches would be replayed once or twice before attention moved on. But this time, the goal was only the spark. The real explosion came seconds later when Cristiano Ronaldo celebrated and the cameras locked onto him. Within moments, clips were ripped from live broadcasts and thrown onto social media, and suddenly the match itself became secondary. One celebration, one familiar jump and shout, and the digital world went into overdrive. Twitter timelines refreshed by the second, Instagram reels multiplied, and TikTok edits appeared before the crowd had even settled back into their seats. His reaction was instant and chaotic. Some fans laughed, others cringed, and many rushed to type out their verdicts as if the fate of football depended on it. Memes began circulating at lightning speed, exaggerating the celebration, slowing it down, remixing it with music, and pairing it with sarcastic captions. What could have been a harmless moment of self-expression turned into a full-scale online event. People who hadn't even watched the match were suddenly part of the conversation, reacting not to the goal, but to the celebration and what they believed it represented. Criticism poured in just as fast as the jokes. Comment sections filled with accusations of attention-seeking, claims that the celebration felt forced, and arguments that a player of Ronaldo's stature should act differently. Others pushed back just as aggressively, defending his right to celebrate however he wants after scoring. The divide was sharp, emotional, and relentless. Every post spawned thousands of replies, each one louder than the last, as fans and critics tried to outdo each other with hot takes and reactions. What made the moment even bigger was how quickly it overshadowed everything else. The tactics, the opposition, the quality of the goal itself all faded into the background. Pundits online weren't discussing the build-up play or the defensive error. They were debating body language, legacy, and image. A single celebration had hijacked the narrative of an entire match, proving how little it takes for a global superstar to dominate the conversation without saying a word. The speed of the reaction revealed the reality of modern football fandom. There is no pause, no cooling off period, no waiting for the final whistle. Every action is judged in real time, amplified by millions of screens and opinions. Ronaldo's celebration didn't just happen in a stadium. It happened simultaneously in living rooms, cafes, group chats, and comment threads around the world. The noise grew so loud that even neutral fans felt compelled to pick a side, whether out of amusement, frustration, or pure curiosity. In that chaos, the celebration became a symbol rather than a moment. For some, it was proof that Ronaldo still craves the spotlight. For others, it was proof that the spotlight still chases him no matter what he does. The memes, the criticism, the praise, and the arguments all fed into each other, creating a cycle where attention only grew stronger with every reaction. One goal, one celebration, and social media turned it into a spectacle that refused to slow down, dragging everyone into the storm of opinions, emotions, and endless scrolling. Cristiano Ronaldo is no longer just competing against defenders and goalkeepers, he is battling time itself. Every match he steps into now carries an extra layer of pressure that few players in football history have ever experienced. Age is no longer a quiet number in the background, it is shouted from headlines, comment section, and debates that question whether he still belongs at the highest level. With every sprint, every shot, and every celebration, there is an invisible countdown ticking, and Ronaldo knows it better than anyone. That awareness fuels the intensity in his body language, the fire in his reactions, and the defiant edge that defines his presence on the pitch. Legacy hangs over him like a shadow that never leaves. Everything he does is instantly compared to his past greatness, to his prime years, to the impossible standards he set himself. A goal is no longer just a goal. It is measured against hundreds of others scored across decades. A missed chance is magnified, dissected, and used as evidence by those waiting to declare the decline complete. This constant comparison creates a mental battlefield where satisfaction is almost impossible, because even success feels like it needs justification. Ronaldo isn't just trying to win matches, he's trying to protect a legacy that many believe should already be sealed and untouched. Expectations only make that battle heavier. Fans, critics, and media all demand different versions of him at the same time. Some want the ruthless goal machine who dominates matches. Others expect the wise veteran who fades gracefully into the background. Ronaldo refuses to fit neatly into either role. He still wants the spotlight, still wants the decisive moments, and still believes he can deliver them. That belief is often mistaken for arrogance, but it is also the same mindset that carried him to the top in the first place. Letting go of it would mean letting go of who he is as a footballer. This is where his celebrations take on deeper meaning. When Ronaldo celebrates loudly, when he makes sure the world sees him, it isn't just about ego. It's about reminding everyone, including himself, that he still matters. The jump, the shout, the pose, all back. Acts of resistance against the narrative of decline. In a sport that moves on quickly and rarely looks back, Ronaldo refuses to disappear quietly. Each celebration feels like a challenge thrown at time, critics, and doubt all at once. The pressure is relentless because there is no hiding place. Younger players are allowed inconsistency. Older legends are expected to accept reduced roles. But Ronaldo exists in a space where neither rule applies. He is judged by the standards of his peak while being constrained by the reality of his age. That contradiction creates tension in every performance. When he scores, the reaction is relief mixed with triumph. When he celebrates, it's an emotional release of everything he's carrying. This defiant attitude is what keeps him relevant and controversial at the same time. It's why every action sparks debate and every celebration becomes a headline. Ronaldo isn't just fighting opponents, he's fighting perception, expectation, and the fear of being remembered as someone who stayed too long rather than someone who left at the perfect moment. That internal struggle fuels the fire fans see on the pitch, a fire that refuses to dim even as the years stack up, pushing him to prove again and again that he is not done yet. Cristiano Ronaldo has reached a point in his career where indifference is impossible. Every time he steps onto the pitch, he pulls attention toward him like gravity, whether people want it or not. Fans may mock him, critics may roll their eyes, and rivals may hope the spotlight finally shifts elsewhere, but it never fully does. Love him or hate him, the reaction is always emotional, always loud, and always immediate. That is the power he still holds over football's biggest moments, a power that doesn't fade quietly with age or changing leagues. When Ronaldo scores, the stadium reacts differently. There's anticipation. Even before the ball hits the net, because everyone knows what comes next will be discussed far beyond the match itself. The cameras zoom in, the crowd noise spikes, and millions watching from home lean forward. His presence transforms ordinary moments into events. A simple goal becomes a talking point, a celebration becomes a debate, and a single gesture can dominate headlines for days. That level of influence is rare, and explains why his actions continue to shape the football conversation. Critics argue that this constant attention is exhausting, that football should be about teams, tactics, and collective brilliance rather than one individual. Yet even those critics can't look away. They click, comment, share, and argue, feeding the same machine they claim to dislike. Ronaldo understands this dynamic better than most. He doesn't need to speak or explain himself because his impact is immediate and visual. One moment is enough to pull everyone back into his orbit, reminding them that he still commands the stage. Supporters see this as proof of greatness. They argue that controlling moments isn't about forcing attention, but about earning it through years of excellence. Ronaldo's ability to dominate the narrative didn't appear overnight. It was built through decades of consistency, records, and unforgettable performances. Even now, as debates rage about his place in modern football, he continues to bend attention toward himself simply by existing within the game. That kind of presence can't be manufactured, and it can't be ignored. The emotional divide he creates is part of his legacy. Some players are remembered fondly, others respectfully, but Ronaldo is remembered intensely. He provokes strong feelings because he represents ambition taken to its extreme. His confidence unsettles people, his celebrations irritate some, and his refusal to fade away challenges the idea of how legends should behave. Yet those same traits inspire millions who see in him a relentless drive to remain relevant no matter the obstacles. Football thrives on moments, and Ronaldo understands how to create them without needing perfection. Even controversy becomes a form of control because it keeps the focus locked on him. When fans argue about his celebration instead of the scoreline, when social media debates his attitude instead of the tactics, he has already shaped the narrative. The match becomes secondary to the moment he created, and that moment travels far beyond the pitch. In the end, Ronaldo's continued influence shows that attention in football isn't only about performance, but about presence. He still knows how to make people feel something, whether it's admiration, frustration, or disbelief. That emotional reaction is the heartbeat of the sport, and as long as Ronaldo can trigger it with a single action, he remains one of football's most powerful figures, controlling the biggest moments simply by being exactly who he has always been. Don't forget to like. Thank you for listening and subscribe.